Hello, welcome to week 3 Shorty September reading sprints. Yeah, I put it on Instagram and in my community tab here, so I'm sorry if anyone didn't get the message about why I canceled last week at the last minute, but I had a break-in at my house about an hour before I was supposed to go live. So yeah, I was very disappointed that I had to cancel last week's reading sprints at the last minute, but I'm so happy to be back. Everything else should go on as planned. I always love being here to read with y'all, to chat with y'all. So I am so excited to hear how everyone's Shorty September is going so far. I was doing so well in reading at least a book a day. Love you, King. I was doing so well in reading at least a book a day, the beginning of the month, and then the break-in just kind of ruined my attention span. I'm doing okay, but it's kind of hard to focus on things. So I'm hoping that with reading sprints today that I can get back on track and really be able to sit down and focus on something again. But I don't know exactly what I'm reading. I think Blood and Guts in High School is a good option. I also have The Bloody Chamber by Angela Carter, which I am wondering if this is a good time to at least read a couple of stories from it and not necessarily have to finish it all in one go. I don't know what you're co-signing, but I co-sign that. I thank you, King. This one is the for the myth retelling prompt. This one is for, I don't even remember what prompt Blood and Guts in High School was, but then the last choice would be Rashomon by Akutagawa, which maybe I could get just started on this to kind of mix around things and not beat myself up too much if I don't finish anything today. But also I kind of want to read Blood and Guts in High School. So I think there's good options. But Han, what are you reading? I wasn't familiar with the book that you mentioned you might be reading. I was thinking maybe reading something on my e-reader. Usually I use reading sprints to do physical books because they're ones I typically have more trouble focusing on, but I also have an arc that I need to be reading on my e-reader. So getting through some of my shorties that are on here would be nice. I just don't really know what's the vibe yet, but I think I'm just going to start reading Blood and Guts in High School. You know what? That does sound right up your alley, so I'm really happy for you. I think I'm just going to start with a 10-minute timer, just to a short one to get started, and then we'll go from there. Hello. How is your reading? This book is crazy. I don't think I've ever actually been surprised. I know, I didn't hear it last time whenever I was doing this. It's very calming. I think it's a welcome energy. I don't think I've ever read a book where I'm actually gagged, but it was the second page was I was already gooped and gagged. This is certainly something. I have a recommendation for you. I think that there's this visual novel that you would really like on Itch, but I'll have to send it to you later. But it's a transgressive visual novel that kind of reminds me of Blood and Guts in high school. So I think you might like it. How's your Southern Gothic? I don't remember what the name of it was. God's Little Acre. Another thing I'm so excited about is I just saw that they... Oh! Well, what is a novel but many stories linked with narrative and time? I saw that Dracula announced the new Titans. White people being racist while trying to strike wealth in American land. Well, you know what? That's a classic. That's a they've done that. They've done that, they do that. So that checks out. The new Dracula Titan season. I want to know who's on it. I didn't have time to watch the video announcement, but I do want to take this time to find out who it is. Okay, let's see. What? No, that's not the new Titans. Is it? Okay, some people are just back that were even on the first Titan season. Let me see. Is Sigourney Beaver in it? Yes, she is. Oh my gosh, wait, this season looks so good. It has a lot of faves in it. Yeah, this one's gonna be a good one. Some of the people that were on really early. Jay Jolie's back on. I didn't really, care too much about her the first time, but I'm always excited to see her on TV still. Yeah, this looks like it's gonna be a really good season. I mean, I don't think there's really been a bad season. It's okay, October 7th is the premiere. We will be watching. Yeah, Disasterina, I'm excited to see her again. I just, I love Dracula, she was there. Have you seen all the seasons of it? I think I started watching during season 3, and then, I went back in time and watched season 1 and 2, and now I've watched, every season right away. But, they have a vision that other people simply do not have. Drag Race could never have such a vision. Drag Race is doing something, but, I feel like they're... Oh, did you watch the first Titan season? Because it was... Abora's back again, which I think is crazy, but I'm excited. I feel like they get spooky stuff in a way that a lot of other people... Yes, I remember you telling me this, and I told you that I saw Vander Von Odd spin around on a broomstick in a drag club. a gay club. Spinning Around on a Broomstick to Silver Springs by Fleetwood Mac. It was life-changing. Titans is really good. I mean, I like them all. Like, I like the Bootleg Brothers too, and I never listen to anyone's podcast, but sometimes I will listen to the Bootleg Brothers podcast because they actually have correct opinions on a lot of stuff. And I don't think a lot of people talking about horror usually do. So I'm kind of still feeling the 10-minute timers because I want to be able to talk about this every 10 minutes. I was not expecting it to start out. It's like horrifying, the stuff that's happening, like, obviously, but also it's so campy because it's like this 10-year-old that's talking like, I don't know, a star of the silver screen. I think this was the right choice because but it's also so beautiful. Like, it goes between like those dialogue sections and then like the more environmental descriptions are really rich. You know what? That's true. That's probably true. I think a lot of people should not have access to podcast equipment, and probably me included. So, that's fine. It's crazy how much how much podcast and like streaming equipment there is. Like, if you go to the store now, like, not everyone needs to be doing that. And it's like a lot of like kids' goals in life is just to be a streamer, but you have to like actually get a personality first. Hello. Are you reading something for Shorty September? Is your book even short one, or did you just pick up a novel and you said this is the one? Happy Shorty September to you as well. What have you been reading this month, or what's been your like favorite thing that you've read this month? I was already saying, like, I was on such a good streak. I don't know exactly how much stuff I've read already this month, but I was reading like a book every day for a while. Book or two. Short enough. I'm already off of my short audiobooks though, because I got like holds in from the library that I just like have to read. But that's okay. Let me see, what's the best thing I've read this month so far? Vampiricine is probably my favorite thing that I've read this month so far, which is like a climate change vampire novella. Thank you for being here. Like I said, like, I have not really been reading since the break-in. Just like I've just like not been able to like keep my attention on something. Like, I haven't been doom scrolling, but like I keep going to my phone just to like kind of regulate. And so this is really nice to be able to actually sit down and read. Killing Stella. I have never heard of this before. Let me find out what this is. Left alone for the weekend while her husband and two children are visiting her in-laws, the narrator of Killing Stella recounts the addition of her friend's daughter Stella into their already tense and tumultuous household. A domestic horror story. Oh my goodness. Well, are you reading it for the translated prompt or like the horror prompt? That sounds really interesting. I've never heard of that before. Well, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and start the next author that wrote The Wall. The Wall. I don't think I've read The Wall either. I was thinking about Ghost Wall at first. Oh. Interesting. Oh, perfect. Yeah, that works too. Okay, well, on that note, I'm going to do a 10-minute sprint for the next one, and then maybe after that, we can increase time. But like right now, I'm like, 10 minutes is a good amount of time for me to focus. Hello, how was your reading sprint? I might, I'm like 20% of the way through this book, but I might switch over to something else because it's a lot right now. Um, the gall that she has to just like say things is crazy. Like, good for Kathy Acker. She is saying things that no one has ever said before and will never say again. I, like, I've read stuff with, similar themes, but like the way that the characters talk is crazy. Like, this is not a 10-year-old girl. This is so funny. I like it. I think it's funny. But I'm wondering about switching over to one of the physical books now because I just feel like I should get a start on one of these. I didn't even realize that this was like Rashomon and other stories. Rashomon's only 40 pages long. I could just, I think even if I just read that, that would fulfill that prompt. I do have my prompt sheet somewhere. Let's see. Oh, my Kathy Acker one was for the book from the 70s and 80s. And yeah, I don't think I've checked off anything new since my last, like 2 weeks ago, unfortunately, but that was out of my control. We're all good now, though. Is it not? Like, is she always this funny? It's supposed to be funny, right? Like, it's like so ridiculous. But I still think that like right now I feel like there's diminishing returns on how funny it is right now, and I feel like I want to save that experience for later. I'm really excited to read both of these though. I think Rashomon might be the go. Which I am reading for the prompt of a book that looks like one thing but is secretly another. Because I feel like, yeah. But you're always reading some stuff that I usually want to take a break from after a while. But I figure Rashomon is like kind of looks like one thing but is secretly another because it's like a story that's like told from so many perspectives. I kind of want to rewatch the movie too this month because I have not seen it in many years. I might just start with that one because it's actually only like 10 pages, the actual Rashomon short story. How they turned that into like a 2-hour film. Skill. Did you read more of the same book or are you just vibing? I also was surprised that like Blood and Guts in High School has drawings in it, and every single drawing is so shocking. Always surprised to turn the page, and I think that's like a funny thing about reading it on ebook because like if you're reading it in like a physical book, you would like see the drawings coming up, but it's like suddenly I'll like turn the page and there'll just be some graphic imagery all of a sudden. Never know when it's coming. A white Southern family trying to chase an albino because they think he'll bring them good luck. Well, they do stuff like that. They do stuff like that. Is it good? Have you read anything by her before? You have a lot more. I don't know why I didn't get into like Southern Gothic stuff in school. Maybe because it's like all set near home and like maybe there's like some cultural cringe in that way whenever I was in high school. Like things that are about the world around you seem less um important than more academic, more traditionally academic topics or places. Sometimes that's all you can hope for, all you can ask for. You're doing great. Okay, I feel so certain I can read this Rashomon short story in the next sprint, even if it's a 10-minute sprint. But that's still what I'm kind of feeling. Yeah, I am gonna read this at some point too. Like, I think if I can read this one in this sprint, then I might switch over to this for the ones after that. How is your book going? Is it harrowing? Like, are you starting from the beginning during the reading sprints, or are you already into it? Okay, I am definitely gonna get started with this in this sprint. I feel like the last time whenever I did this timer, it didn't have a sound at the end, but oh, you'll definitely be able to finish this. Okay, let's get started. wow. Oh my gosh, that is so kind. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. I frequently feel like I'm talking to no one. So that's, yeah, that's so sweet. Thank you. I'm also in the middle of several. So funny enough is that so I read the Rashomon story in this first and thinking it was going to be like the Rashomon movie, which is like about a murder being told from a lot of different perspectives and like a lot of people having a different perspective on what went down and who was responsible. And the story was not about that. And so I was like feeling very silly that I thought that it was like an adaptation of the short story. And so then I was like, well, let me just like go back to the beginning and like read the introduction. And then the first story in a grove is the story that Rashomon is based off of. Like it's like the testimony of a lot of different people about a murder. So I really, you know what? I think that that really counts for the a book that looks like one thing but is secretly another, because I got with this that I was confused on if it was an adaptation, if the movie was an adaptation of one of these short stories and which one it was. So that was fun. I can't believe it. I mean, if I had read the back, then I would have known because it says in a grove, which was the basis for Akira Kurosawa's classic film Rashomon, tells the chilling story of the killing of a samurai through the conflicting testimony of witnesses, including the spirit of the murdered man. I would have known if I had just read the back, but I didn't do that. I didn't do that. But this was good. The story that I did read was good. And then I feel like the introduction, I would have liked a meatier introduction, like something with a little bit more information, especially because there's so many short stories here and I don't really know like from when they were coming. And this is the first time I've ever read Akutagawa as well. So maybe this will also be a deep research dive for me. But I think even getting got in that way, that I thought that the story was going to be one thing but was actually a different story, is very funny. So I'm pleased that that's what I picked for that prompt. Again, could have all been solved by just reading the back of the book, but that's all right. You know what? If you don't enjoy it, you can just drop it. I've been like trying to do better at DNFing books, and it's just, especially with shorties, like I know it's so hard with a shorty because you're like, it's not even that long, so I might as well finish it. But you know, it still takes time. Like even like a 150, 200 page book still takes like an hour, you know, a couple of hours. Like you don't want to, there's plenty of other books. Although I'm curious about like what's not working for you. It sounds very stressful. Like I have to be kind of in the right mindset to read a book like that, which is one reason why I put down Blood and Guts in high school right now, because it also is like really messed up dynamics to say the least. Yeah. But I think I'm going to get to like start this too. I think if I can, I'm not very good at reading short story collections. So I think that using my sprint time to maybe get through some of the short stories that I have would be a good use of time, because I don't even know how I'm going to feel about this, because I've been like equally recommended and discouraged from reading this book. But I'm going into it with an open mind. I have at least another one of her books too. I think before I moved to Australia, like, I had, like, a thick book of her collected works, but I at least have The Magic Toy Shop here as well, but I haven't read it yet. I'm just curious how feminist I will really find these stories for, what is it, 1979? They had different priorities then. I feel like I'm not gonna start with the introduction on this one either, though. I'll just get into a story and then come back to this. And the first story is the title story. It doesn't, like, tell you beforehand, like, what fairy tale it's adapted from. But we can go ahead and get started with the next friend. Hello, welcome back from the reading sprint. This one's definitely going to take me a few sprints to read, like even the first short story, I think, because it is pretty dense on the page and it's like 40 pages. I always notice whenever there's like a low frequency word that it seems like frequently I'll see a low frequency word. Like in this case, it's evanescent, which I always just notice whenever it's used in something because I was like a huge middle school fan of Evanescence. And it was in both of these, like in the short story that I read in both of these. I always, I don't know. I like that kind of stuff. I read a book years ago that was about like writing and about low frequency words and stuff like that. It was actually really interesting. I don't know how quickly I'll be able to find this in my Goodreads, what it was actually called. But tell me how y'all's reading sprints went. Hopefully the book is either picking up or you've picked up a book that is the vibe right now. Let me see. When do I think I read this book? Probably 2018. I don't even remember what it would have been called. Something about words, but it was like about the actual like word choices in books and stuff. There was like this really interesting chapter in it that was about like how it's so interesting. But like one of the chapters in this book was about how every writer has like a noticeable, not a noticeable, but every writer has a writing style and has the use of certain words more so that like whatever algorithms they had at this time, it wasn't like, Chat GPT or anything, but that they could figure out who wrote a story based off of what kind of words were used. And another interesting thing was that like whenever you are a reader of something that takes place in a different, so the example was in this that people who are writing like Harry Potter fan fiction, Americans who are writing Harry Potter fan fiction, overused the types of like British dialect terms that were in the fan fiction. Like they were using way more than like a British writer would use, that they were using more of those markers that it was like from somewhere else, which I found really interesting. It is called Nabokov's Favorite Word is Mauve, what the numbers reveal about the classic bestsellers in our own writing. Let me let's see. This. It was what was I doing rating back then? Like I'm saying like, oh, I remember really enjoying this book and I gave it 3 stars. That's funny. I was oh, I love ethereal. Yeah, ethereal's a nice word. But I feel like evanescent, like I feel like that word is not used as much anymore because it feels almost like a reference to evanescence. Do you know what I mean? Like it feels like you can't really use that word as much anymore. What was there anything else in this that was like really interesting? Uses some as cliches. I remember it talking to about like the James Patterson books, that the books that are written by like someone in James Patterson, like whenever you like do the numbers on it, that you can tell that James Patterson didn't really write the book. Like his name is just kind of on it because it doesn't have any of the markers of James Patterson's writing. But it's like stuff that's like not really noticeable whenever you're reading. Like you wouldn't know that someone was using like a certain high frequency or low frequency word more frequently. There was yeah, Evanescent, yeah, of course. Of course. There was a word that was like it's like such a low frequency word that I kept hearing in like the same author's writing, but I don't remember what it was. But the last time this happened to me was like a couple, like maybe last month. The word was Spartan, like to mean like really like clean and pared back, which I just don't think it's like used a whole lot to describe like a place as being like Spartan, like as being like aesthetic or whatever. That I don't know, it was like 2 books back to back, like in the same amount of time. My favorite read so far this year, my very favorite is Fingersmith by Sarah Waters. Like it's like maybe my new all-time favorite book. Like it was like amazing to me that I was getting so excited and invested in a book again. Like it made me feel kind of like reading whenever I was in high school, to like be so invested in the characters. Like because I'm not like a person who really imagines characters outside of a text anymore. Like you know, like in middle school, high school, like I was reading fanfic and stuff like that. Like I really cared about characters in a way that extended past the book, but I don't really feel that anymore. And it doesn't mean that like the characters that I'm reading are not well written. I just don't. But the characters in Fingersmith, I was like, I need people to be on TikTok making fan cams of these characters from this like historical novel. Like I love them, obsessed. So that's definitely my very favorite because I just like I didn't even know that I could feel that way about a book anymore. As far as like newer releases, I let me see. Let me see what I've been I feel like I've had a pretty good reading year. Like I think that I've liked most of the stuff that I've read. I feel like if you really love, like I feel like loving a book as much as I did is amazing. Oh, I love the last book I also really loved was The Buffalo Hunter by Stephen Graham Jones, which is like a historical, it is like a horror novel, like it is about vampires, like a vampire revenge story in a way, but like the historical elements were done so well. Like I maybe I'm in like a historical era. I don't know. Like it isn't like a genre that I would say is like my favorite, but it was done so well. He's such an incredible author. And I feel like all of the other Stephen Graham Jones books I've read, which I've loved almost everything I've read by him, but they have a very Stephen Graham Jones feel. And this one was almost like he tapped into something completely new, that it was just like it felt like a real text that was like pulled out of the ether. I don't know. Like it was so good. What else have I really loved this year? I liked Bat Eater a lot. I did like a full review of that. That's a horror novel kind of about, it is about like pandemic and COVID, but also like about Asian American racism in New York City. And I loved James by Percival Everett, which, that wasn't a huge surprise. I loved Perfume by Patrick Suskind. I do love horror. I read a lot of like new horror too. Like I like a lot of stuff that's not even classy by any means, but I feel like whenever I really love something, it usually is something that's, um, meatier and, like perfume. Like I like something that's like just like dark and twisted. Even like Fingersmith. Like Fingersmith is not horror at all, but it is like there's some dark stuff in it. Now, why are y'all being so nice to me? I did not deserve this on this day. Um, yeah, I do love horror. I think that that's like it is a hard thing about being a like a booktube channel because I feel like it's two separate parties. Like I feel like people who read horror frequently are like kind of just reading horror or just talking about horror, and then but the literary fiction people like don't necessarily want to hear about horror either. So, um, I don't know exactly how to split up that content, but it is just like what I'm reading. Like I'm not gonna not talk about some of that. I feel like you would love it. Like it's so good. It's so good. And the audiobook is so good. It's like um the kind of frame story for it is it's like a grad student working on her thesis and has this like journal that was from like her great great grandfather or something, and he was like uh a Lutheran priest during like this time period in the West. I think this one's set in Colorado. Is it set in Colorado? I think it's set in Colorado. And so she's like, it's like this priest telling of this vampire revenge story, um, from like this kind of white perspective, but then you also have like the native perspective as well. And it's so good. He's such a good writer. I think those were my favorites of this year so far. I liked Rest Stop by Nat Cassidy too. That's a horror novella. Um, Deep Cuts by Holly Brickley I did really like. That's kind of like it's kind of like a light literary fiction, but it also got like picked up by Book of the Month, so it did get really popular. Uh, I'm interested to read more stuff on Itch. Like that Vampiricine book that I was talking about was that a book that I got from Itch, and there's like all kinds of authors that are just like self-publishing their stuff on there. So I do see that there's like more people that are like willing to read a horror book. Like it's not as like especially whenever like a horror book goes viral or something too. Um yeah. I mean, it is what it is, you know. I'm not gonna like not talk about some of the books that I'm reading because I think that it's not, you know, all I can talk about is what I want to talk about. I love Night and the Mannequins as well. Yep. I was talking about that. Oh, I did like a book tag for Shorty September, and there was like a prompt for picking a a book that was like most reminiscent of this pair of socks, and I picked Night of the Mannequins for that. Short story collection. Have I read a short story collection from him? What is that? I don't think I've read a short story collection from him. And I feel like I've read most of his stuff. That is such an interesting pick for it to be like the only one that you've read by him. The only one that I didn't like was My Heart is a Chainsaw, and I was looking forward to it so much, and it's a trilogy, and everyone else loves it, and I just like it was not doing anything for me. It was like way too much. I don't love stuff that's like about being about horror tropes. Like it was talking so much about final girls and all the tropes of horror movies, and I just feel like we've had that conversation a lot. Like I feel like there's so many things that are self-referential to those things. Like Scream did it, and I don't know that anyone else has really needed to do it since then. I liked Cabin in the Woods whenever I saw it, but, like, I don't know. I don't you can play on those things, but, like, I don't need them to be spelled out in the same way, I think. Yeah, and honestly, there wasn't even that much, like, slasher action in it either. It was, like, the final third of the book. It was a lot just about her talking about how into movies she was, which is okay, but yeah. I'm, like, so crushed that Scream is, like, tainted now from them, like, firing, um, that main actress that's, like, been in the last few over, uh, her support of Palestine, like, a couple years ago. But now Matthew Lillard's gonna be in the new one, and I love Matthew Lillard, so I don't know. Um, if I watch it, I probably will not be giving money, however I watch it. So, yeah, I'm really mapping the interior. You loved that one too, Juan. I He's just, like, so good. I've read The Only Good Indians, Night of the Mannequins, Mapping the Interior. I feel like I've read some. Yeah, I don't know exactly how. Like, one of the suggestions in the comments that I saw was that maybe it'll be about, like, AI and, like, deep fakes, and, like, someone is like I can see that happening, like, it being, like, on an iPhone or something, and it looks like he's calling or whatever, but it's, not actually him. I don't think it's gonna be like that he's been alive the whole time. That would be very, very silly, I think. I don't think that that would work out well, but I think the deepfake thing makes sense. Mhm. Yep. I He has, like, a new one too, I Was a Teenage Slasher. I say new, it was published last year, but The Buffalo Hunter is his newest. He puts out a book, though. He is, like, writing. He's very prolific, and I feel like he wrote Colorado so well too. I've never read a book that I would consider, like, a Western before, but The Buffalo Hunter is, like, very Western. Yeah, I know. I love Matthew Lillard. I think he has carried a lot of stuff. Like, he's just, like, such a good character actor. Oh, the Bloody Chamber, I don't know how I'm feeling about this. Like, it feels like it's, like, really like, the energy is building. I like her writing style. It's more so, will I feel like it has any kind of feminist impact is the part that I'm, like, doubtful of. It is it's so funny. I love yeah, that is, like it's so funny to me how many people hate that book too, like, that they think it's stupid. I'm like, "Kind of, but, like, good." Yeah. I love Night of the Mannequins. It's such a argument for the horror novella too. Like, that's I love whenever you see, like, one of Roland's fur pieces just drift across. Like, I just have, tumbleweeds in my house of fur. I think during the next sprint, I'm gonna go make a coffee real quick, and then keep going with The Bloody Chamber. Are we still feeling a 10-minute timer? Because I am, but I can change it if we feel like we're not reading enough. This country will bring us no peace. You have such interesting pulls. I don't know. I feel like I haven't known, like, a single book that that you've mentioned. This country will bring us no peace. Oh, I was looking in my books for it. Oh, translated from French. Okay. Let's see. Simon and Marie can't seem to have a baby, and so they flee the city for an idyllic village where things will certainly be better, but the town is gloomy, even hostile. Things haven't been the same since the factory started closing down. Broadcast antenna was erected. Now there are no birds singing, and people have started disappearing. That sounds good. Yep, let's put that up. Maybe I'll try to read it in French because that's been one of my goals for this year. And I have still not read a book in French yet. But I feel like a horror novella might be the go. Like everything that I have in French right now is not too dense, but it feels like an undertaking. So maybe I will try to read that one in French. Thank you for the recommendation. I mean, yeah, I'm I will try to track that down. Okay. I love the positivity in here today. Thank you so much. All right, I'll see y'all in 10 minutes. I did not hear the timer go off this time. Welcome back from Sprints. We have a special visitor. She's been very productive during the sprints. I think I heard her cough up a hairball. She's been yelling, so she's been having a really good time. The first story in this is like, I think, I'm almost positive, the Beauty and the Beast retelling. And the Beast character does kind of remind me of Fingersmith a little bit, Gentleman. But it seems like he has, yeah. Usually it's Roland, my other cat, who shows up during sprints. Last time he let me just like hold him for almost all the sprints. Daisy does not like to be held for a long amount of time. She likes attention whenever she asks for it, but doesn't like to be contained for too long. There's already a library in the story that seems to have some worrying books in it. And like there's like it's a really beautiful. Yeah. I'm using it for the retelling prompt. Which I don't know if I'll read the whole thing. I just want to make sure that I do a little bit of everything. I know we still have like half the month left. I don't know why I'm like feeling like I have no time left. Yeah, no, that's why I picked it. I don't know. Did you pick out a book for the retelling? This seemed like the most obvious pick to me. Like I already had this. It was a shorty. I don't know what other retellings really I could have picked. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty that I could have like searched for, but this seemed really obvious. I don't think I have any other retellings, and usually like the retellings that I'm even aware of are like Circe and stuff that are big books. Song of Achilles. I don't know what other shorties there are that are probably like a graphic novel adaptation would be like a good one for that prompt. I don't know why I'm feeling like you know what? Yeah, I don't really either. I like being inspired by folklore and stuff, like I guess is in some ways like can be like considered a retelling. Ooh, what are you reading? How are you cheating on it? I don't think I'm like really like a retelling person. And whenever it's like saying that it's like feminist retellings and also from the 70s, I just, I will see how well it's done. But they are like, it is like kind of like lush writing and dark writing. I'm not disliking it. I think I got rid of it whenever I moved, but I did have like a Japanese folklore not graphic novel, a comic book adaptation where it was like an anthology of like all of these. I don't think it was just Japanese. I think it was like a Pan-Asian thing, but it was like each comic artist was from whatever background, and they did like a comic adaptation of different folklore stories. And so that was like something that I liked because they were also inspired by the art. And you know what? Yeah, if they're relaying a story, I think considering that a retelling is fine. What is that? What book with all interviews? But yeah, I'm on the same page. I'm not really like a retelling person. Like I've never read Circe or A Song of Achilles or any of those like really popular ones. Uh, I know that people really love them, but I just don't know how much it would really do for me. I've been like slowly coloring in my prompts as I do them because I just have like a black and white printer, but I don't have anything else to color in yet. I did start A Bear Called Paddington as well, and it's very like the movie. I'm so charmed by Paddington. I don't know why it does so much for me. Tell by Jonathan Buckley. Again, never heard of this. Okay. Oh, it's like a pretty new book, 2024. Exuberant, intensely fluid, and probing examination of the ways in which we make our stories, like stories of our own and of other people's lives. Oh, okay. It's a novel that's told through interviews. I thought it was like real interviews too. Okay. Tell is structured as a series of interviews. Gossip. Yep. That sounds fun to me too. Are you liking it so far? I feel like that would go by really quickly. Or have you actually started it? Let's see. I love reading negative reviews. It doesn't do anything for me to not want to read it. Okay. See, I think that if I even just like finish one of these short stories, I'm going to consider that the prompt being met. Me too. Me too. That's actually how a lot of Blood and Guts in high school is being told, is like just dialogue between this 10-year-old girl and her dad. It's very disturbing dialogue, but it's interesting because it's like that, and then there's like these like beautiful, it's at least in this part of the book they're in Mexico, and it's like all of these like beautiful descriptions of Mexico. But I read something else recently too that was a lot of dialogue that I liked. Sorry if you can hear the dachshund next door. What was it? Oh, one of my shorties, Life on the Refrigerator Door, Notes Between a Mother and Daughter. I wouldn't recommend this book at all. It was definitely like for preteens or teens, but it was like YA before there was even really YA, from like the mid 2000s. And all of the text was told as like these notes that were just left on the refrigerator door from like this mother and daughter. Like the mom worked nights, and so they just like didn't see each other, and so they communicated a lot through like these notes on the refrigerator. And so I thought it was like an interesting conceit, an interesting form, but it just like wasn't very, it was one of those YA books that it's from the period in young adult where they were like, it was adults writing what they wanted teenagers to hear rather than like writing stuff that was of interest to teenagers, like kind of moralizing stories. It was like really about like daughters aren't paying attention to what's really going on in mothers' lives and they don't see that they're actual humans with stuff going on too. But it did go by very, very quickly. I like stuff with a lot of dialogue too. I feel like there's a lot of shorties that play with form like that do have some kind of like interesting conceit going on. Oh, and like that book that's I don't remember what it's called, but it's like told all through Slack messages, like all through like instant messenger. Any of that kind of stuff really appeals to me. The Sluts by Dennis Cooper, which is like told all through like forum post, blog post. Oh yeah, but it was like I think it took me 40 minutes to read. It was not a big time investment. And I don't mind reading something that's like if it's that fast, I don't really care if it's not great. Especially because it wasn't like it was boring because it went by so fast. It was just at the end, it was like, okay, a book like this wouldn't get made anymore. You know, I think now young adult is like such a thing. They're making books that teens actually want to read. I mean, I guess it's a lot of adults that are reading YA books. Absolutely. Absolutely. You're speaking my language. These are all my favorite things. I just love the imagining of the rest of the world going on that you're not I mean, even when you're reading like something that's like full prose, there is like a different world going on, but you feel like the author is letting you in on all of the important information. Whereas if it's like letters and stuff, like there's the acknowledgement that you're not getting the full picture of what's going on. So that's really appealing to me. Yeah. I think there's like a good amount of like letters and stuff in Fingersmith. Not to bring it all back there, but now that I'm thinking about Fingersmith again, I'll be thinking about it all day long. So oh my gosh, do I know? Let me see. This sounds familiar. Oh, because it's a movie too. Is that the one that you did for the movie prompt? Uh, Charming, funny, deeply human. Oh yeah, I was like, it says 300 pages. They must be, that's kind of ambitious for Shorty. What are you doing for the half and half shorts? That's like, I think my favorite prompt. Just I find out that so many books were made into movies or that so many movies were based off of shorties. Like I feel like they're like the most surprising ones. I haven't watched my movie yet, but I'm really looking forward to it. I read the sense of an ending for that one. And the movie came out in 2017. Who's in it? Jim Broadbent is like the main character. It has Emily Mortimer. I don't really recognize anyone else. Oh, Joe Alwyn's in it. Oh, he's like the one of the main guys. Okay. Keen to get to that one. Oh my gosh, do you have like a bookstagram or something? You're reading so many interesting things. I want to follow along. I think I will probably do just, like, one more sprint because I it's almost noon here, and I do have to get stuff done today. Even though I would like to just stay and read, I do have to do stuff today. You'll have to let me know how the movie goes. 9. Is that what is that Central Time? Or I don't I have not really memorized all of my time zone changes. I just know, when I'm allowed to call my family and when is not a good time to call my family. Okay, yeah, I need to get on Storygraph. Whenever I first tried to, like, transfer everything over, I couldn't get it to work. I need to just, like, go back and do it again. Okay, let me see. I'm gonna see if yeah, I'm definitely not gonna finish this even if I make the sprint any longer, so I think I'm just gonna do 10 minutes again, and that might be it. But it's been so nice hanging out. I've loved reading sprints today. Hello. Oh, where have you been? That's so exciting. I had never been until I moved here. It has been such a nice time. Uh, I've been very happy to be back sprinting after I was not able to do my sprint last time as expected. This story, I thought it was Beauty and the Beast, but it's actually a Bluebeard story. Maybe they're like mixed. Maybe they have like multiple things going on because also Carmilla is referenced in here. So maybe a little bit of everything. I am enjoying it though. Like I feel like it's like really well written. So I probably will read the rest of this. I can't remember why people did or did not like this book. My sprints are at such different times. The next one will be next Tuesday it'll be next Wednesday for me, but it'll be next Tuesday on British time. So I might even start it earlier, just like I don't think because it's supposed to start at 4 a.m. my time. And I just don't think I'm going to go to sleep and then wake up for it. Like, I feel like it's easier just to stay up all night and then sort out the sleep schedule. But thanks so much for being in Reading Sprints today. I loved chatting. I loved reading. It's been a needed distraction for sure from like being so anxious all the time. And actually being able to like focus on some stuff. And I read almost 20% of Blood and Guts in high school. I read the title story and some of the In a Grove, which is the actual story that I thought I was going to be reading from Rashomon. And I was able to read half of the Bloody Chamber title story. So I'm pleased with what I got done today because now I feel like I have a better sense of when to finish reading these and just like being able to focus was a blessing. I love reading sprints for that. Like they're just the best. And it's always so nice to have a chat. So I totally understand if you're not able to make it to the next one because it is on British time, but hopefully we get to chat again soon. But until next time, bye.